All right, welcome everyone to our student Q&A panel hosted by UCF Housing and Residence Life. My name is Hayden Lau. I'm the marketing coordinator for the Housing and Residence Life office here at UCF. So we have some students here today to answer any questions that you have about student life here at UCF, different ways to get involved, all that good stuff. So we have two of our students from the housing office, and we have two special guests, two students from the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. So I will have our special guests introduce themselves first. So Allison, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison. I'm going into my senior year with a major in elementary education. And outside of doing my undergraduate admissions job, which by the way, I give tours around campus. So if anyone's wondering what the heck that is, that's what I do. I am also in Greek life and I'm part of Dance Marathon at UCF. And my freshman year, I lived in Libra on campus.
Awesome, thank you. And Justin.
Hi everyone, I'm Justin. I'm currently a sophomore, going to be a junior in the fall, studying hospitality management with a minor in sports business. Outside of giving campus tours, I'm a part of a bunch of our intramural sports on campus. I'm a part of our sports business and theme park clubs while working for our football team. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, and freshman year I lived in the Neptune community, in the living learning community for the out-of-state students. If you guys have any questions about that, feel free to ask me.
Awesome. And Haley?
Hi everyone, I'm Haley. I'm the marketing assistant for UCF Housing, which means I just help Hayden out with anything that she needs, as well as assist in any marketing efforts that UCF Housing needs. I'm going to be going into my senior year and majoring in advertising and public relations. I am involved in UCF Quotes and Ad Club, and I'm also involved in Greek life. And I lived in Neptune and Nike communities.
Perfect, thank you. And Scott.
Hey there, I'm Scott. I'm going into my third year here at UCF. I am a psychology and forensic science major. I've lived in the Towers community, and I'm currently involved in the Burnett's Honors College, UCF Hillel, and the UCF Moot Court team.
Very cool. Thank you all. So we have a very diverse group of students with different majors, and they've lived all in different spaces on campus. So thank you all for being here. For all of our viewers, if you want to put any questions in the comments, we can ask our students live. And if you follow us on social media, you had an opportunity to submit some questions for us to answer here in this session. So we will go ahead and start off with some of those questions that we got asked on our social media channel. So first question is, how far are the towers from the student union and from classes?
So the towers I'd say is about 10 to 15 minute walk from almost everywhere that you're aiming to be on campus, from the student union to the classrooms. The longest walk you'll probably make is if you're heading to the gym, the large gym, or the other housing communities, which would be about 20 to 25 minute walk.
Awesome, thank you. One thing I know I really like about campus is it's set up to be basically a big circle, so it's pretty easy to get around no matter where you're trying to go. So another question that we had online was, what are the benefits of an LLC? So Justin and Scott, do you guys want to kind of talk about the benefits of those LLCs?
I'll go ahead and I'll start off. My LLC was just for out-of-state students. So coming into college, being the first time away from home, it was a really nice experience to be living with people that had never been to Orlando, knew nothing about Florida, all going through that same situation. So inside of that living learning community, you're automatically enrolled into the club, which is the out-of-state student learning club. And they set up trips to the nearest beach, which is Cocoa Beach, which is 45 minutes away. They set up trips to Disney World, and it just helped you guys get aware with all the surroundings, all the different food that we have on campus, off campus, involved in a bunch of different clubs, and they put up flyers in our little hallways every single week with all the events going on. It was really, really nice to have someone like right next to your side, having your back, making sure you guys are getting out there, getting involved. So living on that floor with all the same people from the same situation helped you make friends quicker, learn the surrounding environment, and just made UCF feel like a home.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing your experience with that. Scott, do you want to talk a little bit about the Honors LLC and Tower 3?
Yeah, so the Honors Living Learning Communities in Tower 3, and it was just really helpful my first year, because I was very new to the whole UCF experience, and here was a bunch of people who were going through a similar experience to me. Being in the honors college, there's a couple courses and the location of the honors college that are pretty exclusive to the honors students, which just having other students that are going through the same experience as me and living alongside them, getting to know them, we were all like-minded, and it really just made me feel at home a lot easier at UCF.
Awesome, thank you. So we have Kayla asked, what are your tips for balancing full-time college work, a job, and personal health? So I'll open that up to any of you if you'd like to answer about that.
I can go ahead and answer that one. I think one of the most important things is having a schedule. It's always my biggest recommendation to any incoming freshman. Have a planner and just have what you want to do and prioritize everything you do. To me, school's the most important thing. That's the reason you're at college. So my schoolwork does always come first. And after that, a job's really important. Obviously, you need money. So that's definitely my second priority. And then my third is definitely myself and all the things I do. I'm a very busy person, so I think it's important to take that time out and focus on yourself. And I think having a planner to put in everything you need is probably my biggest tip. Mine's completely color coded. If you looked at it, you probably think I'm insane, but it's how I keep on track. So whether it's your phone calendar or like a paper calendar or whatever, I think having something like that is a great way to remain balanced at, especially being in college and dealing with everything you are and balancing everything.
Does anyone else have anything else to add on that? Those are really great tips, Allison.
Yeah, I agree. I use a planner too. And a lot of things that I do to balance everything, because I'm also super busy, is waking up early, which sounds horrible, but honestly, it's so awesome to like get a bunch of your stuff done in the beginning of the day, and then you have the rest of your day to make sure you get your classes and schedules, and like you can fit in a workout easier. So it's important to balance your school, your work, and like your wellness. And there's only a certain amount of hours in the day, so the more hours you use to be productive, the more successful you will be. So that's one of my tricks.
Thank you. So I'll let our two housing ambassadors answer this question. Are you allowed to have LED light strips in your residence hall? So really if you could address any kind of like string lights, holiday lights, are those allowed?
I'll answer this one because I get it quite a lot on the Instagram. But so unfortunately, no, it is a fire hazard. So any type of string light, battery light, LED light, just it isn't safe for the room. And we want to make sure our students are safe. So as much as it does look really cool in your room, it isn't safe, and we don't want fires to start. So no.
Perfect, thank you. So if you guys could answer, Ryan asked, what's your favorite place to hang out on campus?
So for me, I'd say the place that I hang out the most is probably the student union or the area right in front of Additions Arena. It's really nice on a nice breezy day to just sit they have a bunch of chairs and tables just right outside, and it's like a little dose of sunlight, and I find that to be very relaxing.
So I'm a coffee enthusiast, so I like hanging out at both of the coffee shops on our campus. So whether that be Foxtail, which is right by our bookstore, or Pop's Parlor, which is right by Tower 3, they're both really quiet and a great place to study, and also just like hang out in between classes because they're just really cute and they have great coffee and food. So yeah.
I'd say my favorite place this is a secret hidden gym. It's called the Teaching Academy. It is probably one of the nicest buildings on campus. It literally is full of windows. There's no walls. It's just all windows except walls in the classroom. And it's really nice to study there. I do spend a lot of time there because I'm also an education major, but along with that, I go and hang out between classes downstairs because the windows let in so much sunlight. And there's actually a piano on the first floor, so people will go and play the piano, and it's really nice. They're always good. I've never heard a bad person playing the piano yet, so definitely a little secret hidden gem, because I would never guess that was a place if I did not go there for classes.
My favorite place would have to be Memory Mall. Memory Mall is this big grassy patch connecting all of our classes all the way to the end, which is going to be our arena. Out there all the time, you're going to see people playing with their dogs, throwing around frisbees. You might happen to catch our UCF Quidditch club practicing out there. Great place to go ahead and put up your hammock. Really nice chill chill location for you guys to go ahead and study, hang out with friends. And we have a bunch of different events out there, such as movie nights. We have concerts, tailgating out there. So it's a really fun location for you guys to go ahead, meet new people, and get involved with a bunch of the events happening every day.
I agree, Justin. That's one of my favorite spots on campus as well. I love it over there. So I know you guys all have currently a job on campus as housing ambassadors and admissions ambassadors. So Hannah asked, are there a lot of jobs on campus to apply for? So do any of you want to talk about that? Some other job opportunities around campus?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll start off with that one. So coming here as a UCF student and not having a job, I knew the first thing I needed to do was definitely get a job. So literally anywhere on UCF campus, almost all of the jobs are going to have jobs for students. The best way to get involved is to go ahead and just ask. Ask anybody working there if you're just interested. Like for me, I love sports, so I asked someone that was in the sports department how to get a job with them, and I had an interview the week later. So if you want to work somewhere, definitely go ahead and ask. We have a bunch of different coffee shops like Starbucks, a bunch of the different cafeterias and locations for food on campuses are hiring. And you guys would go ahead and apply at almost any location. A lot of places need people to answer phones, answer emails. Definitely going to have a bunch of different job fairs for you guys to go ahead and to attend. And then a bunch of the different events during the first week, such as the Pegasus Palooza. There's going to be a bunch of tents with local businesses handing out a bunch of things for students to go ahead, get jobs, free food, free t-shirts, stuff like that. So definitely go ahead and attend that.
To add on to what Justin was saying, there's also a website called Handshake. So it's basically LinkedIn, but for UCF students, and that's a great way to find jobs on campus. That's how I found my job with undergraduate admissions, and I also currently work at the student union on campus, and that's how I found my job on student union as well. So literally tons and tons of jobs there, and you can look up UCF jobs, and it'll have jobs at small offices, like Justin said, for people who need emails, phone calls, all that stuff, finding cooler jobs, like whatever you're looking for. They literally have any job you could picture there, all the restaurants as well. So definitely recommend looking up Handshake. It's under career services.
Perfect. Thank you. So Erica asked, did the Neptune community kitchens get really crowded? So anyone with Neptune experience want to touch on that?
So I lived in Neptune, and the kitchen was never really busy. The way that people are in there and the amount of space that there's in there, multiple people can be working on different dishes, different recipes. And a lot of the times they're going to ask you, do you want some of my meal? Can I have some of yours? So it's definitely a really nice place for you to, one, meet people, and two, to utilize as you're paying for it there at Neptune. And also the view you're going to get out those glass windows on each floor. You're going to be looking right over the lake. It's a great place to go cook and a great way to save money on campus. Use the public shuttle, which comes on Tuesdays every 45 minutes. If you do have a car, go to any of the many grocery stores, convenience stores nearby to pick up some food. But no, I never had a situation where it was too busy in there for me to not be able to cook. A lot of the times people get a bunch of things together, mostly your roommates together, and you guys will make a dish together. It's really nice bonding experience, something that you'll always remember. But no, never a problem with it being too busy.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. All right, so we will go ahead and address some of the questions we have in the comments. So Michelle asked, what is UCF Hello? I think maybe misunderstood Scott. He said he is involved with UCF Hillel. So Scott, do you want to talk a little bit about Hillel at UCF?
Yes, so UCF Hillel it's an organization of Jewish students at UCF. We are based out of UCF Northview, and we basically just allow for a safe space for people to gather. Anyone can come gather. You don't need to be Jewish to go there and participate. It's a great way to just meet people. We have services, free food, events, all of the above, and it's just a great way to have fun and meet some new people.
Thank you very much. All right, so Kate is asking about when we can hear about housing assignments, interested in Neptune, so where on campus is that located near? So I can just go ahead and address the first part of the question about housing assignments. I know everyone is excited to get their housing assignment and go through the room selection process. Due to our current circumstances, the timeline for room selection is delayed. We just want everyone to have the best experience with that as possible. So we appreciate your patience as we are working through that, but just keep an eye on your night's email. We will be sending communication about when your room selection, when you can expect that to open up. So again, keep an eye on your night's email. And do one of you want to address where on campus Neptune is, what it's close to, that sort of thing?
I guess I'll go ahead and I'll take this one as well. Since I lived in Neptune as a freshman, I absolutely loved my experience there. I was a 2-minute walk away from our pool on campus. There's always volleyball going on, basketball in the pool. Great place to go ahead and study and tan. It's never very crowded out there unless we're having an event like watching our away football games on a big movie projector, which is definitely really cool. And it's about a 3-minute walk from our gym. So the gym is open 24/7, not 24/7. It's open every single day, but it's open until midnight every single night. So no excuse not to go ahead and work out in there. Also over there, we're going to have a bunch of different intramural fields for you to play any sport. We have sand volleyball, tennis courts also open till midnight. So a ton of things very, very close by. There's a Cafe Bustelo and a Polo Tropical for food really close. And at the bottom of one of the buildings, we're going to have what's called the Pod Market. Inside of there, it's a little convenience store to pick up any snacks, anything like paper plates, napkins, tissues, anything you need for your dorm really quick and easy. And also over there, you're just going to be close to a bunch of the students over there. We're going to have Nike and Hercules right next to it as well. So a ton of your students, a ton of friends, different mixes of people from living learning and other students. Great place to be living here on campus.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, it's where Neptune is, it's a nice cluster of some of our other housing communities as well. Great spot near the RWC and the leisure pool. So Jennifer is asking, would a small Christmas tree with lights be fine for housing? You can have a small Christmas tree with lights. We do encourage you to decorate and get festive around the holidays, so that would be just fine. Robert is asking if a coffee machine, can you have that in housing? You guys want to touch on appliances and what's allowed in your room and what's not?
Yeah. So you can, oh, sorry, Scott. You can go if you want. Okay, fine. So for coffee machines, you can have a Keurig, just anything without a hot plate. And as for appliances, you can have a microwave under 100 watts and then a mini fridge 5 cubic feet or below.
Yeah, the general rule for kitchen appliances in the room is that because of fire hazards, like I know a lot of students are thinking about bringing air fryers and stuff like that. The general rule when you're debating whether it's okay or not is, are there any heating elements that are exposed to open air? If the answer is yes, then they're not allowed.
Good rule of thumb to follow. Definitely don't want to set off any fire alarms and do. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Sorry about that. So our next question is from Casey. How do you find clubs on campus? I know you guys are all pretty involved. You talked a little bit about your club involvement. So how do you find those? What kind of clubs are there? All that.
So I could talk a little bit about it. Essentially, there's a club for everything. Anybody has even the most remote interest in something that's so obscure that normally you wouldn't think there's a club for it, there's probably a club for it. The general way to find clubs on campus is we have the thing called Night Connect. It has all of the club listings and it's all listed online in a huge database. So whatever you're looking for, you can narrow it down from sports to other general keywords and just help find a club to get involved in. Also, there's some club fairs around campus every now and then. We have Market Wednesdays where the area by the student union has some, besides some small market stalls, has a bunch of clubs that are constantly tabling, so they can help provide some information on that as well. And then just I recommend looking around campus. There's some poster boards in almost every building, and there'll be posters and advertisements for various different clubs all over the place.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so we do have someone asking about how to find a roommate. So do any of you want to talk about a little bit about roommate matching and that process for living on campus?
I could talk about roommate matching. The way that roommate matching works is after you've gotten a confirmed status for housing. So essentially, the housing has said you have a spot on campus if you want it. You can go into the housing portal, click on the link that says roommate matching. You'll fill out a small survey with some of your likes and dislikes for living. So like how late you stay up, how loud you turn your music on, how dirty you are versus how clean and neat you are. And using that survey, it will match you with other students that also filled out that survey, which have similar scores. And from there, it will provide the contact information for both the students that matched up. And if you want, the students can take the initiative to reach out to the other student and just strike up that conversation, seeing if, hey, I really like this person and I think I'm going to want to roommate with them. After that, you can then go in and form a roommate group where both of you mutually request each other and you'll be put into a group together. This means that when it comes time to select your room, the roommate group leader will then go and select the room and pull the entire roommate group into the room together.
So I did not use roommate matching. I just got placed into a room with 3 other people living in rooms right next to me. And that actually turned out being a really nice situation and a really good experience for me. Definitely being put in a situation in a new location with nobody that I knew. It was a great chance for me to go ahead and learn how to get along with other people and how to find similar interests, and it actually really worked out for me. I have some lifelong friends from that situation. So if you don't get the person that you guys are going to go ahead and get that roommate match with, do not worry. There's going to be so many people, so many different clubs and locations on campus for you to meet people that are very similar, and there's going to be friends absolutely everywhere. Your housing is just for your living, and if they're just going to be living with you, you can definitely make the best of that experience.
There's also an option to request an individual. So if you're going to university and your friend is also, or someone you know from your high school or whatever, like I met my roommate through Facebook, you can request them, and it has to be a mutual request, and then you can both room together. But you have to request you both have to be confirmed, and then it has to be mutual, and then that's how you request someone you already know.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. It's all really good advice on roommate matching. I know it can feel a little overwhelming if you don't know anyone, but you definitely don't have to know anyone. Like Justin said, he had a great experience with getting placed with random roommates, so that's a great experience there. So let's see. So, sorry, give me just a moment. So we do want to kind of introduce something that we have later on in the year. It's called the Room Design Contest. So something that you can share. You can share photos of your room, and you can be entered in to win prizes and be featured in some of our marketing pieces. So that's a really good experience. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about how you maybe decorated some of your spaces in your residence hall, and then maybe a few things, hanging tips on how to hang things, what you can and can't use. I know we touched a little bit on what you can and can't bring, but I know since you've all lived on campus, maybe some decorating ideas or tips.
Well, I will say command hooks will be your best friend. You don't want any holes in their walls, but command hooks, especially the heavy duty ones, are really great for like hanging pictures and canvases, and you can hang like corkboards for all of your printouts on and stuff like that. I know I used a bunch of them for like all sorts of things, like the ones with the Velcro, because you can stick things easily on the wall, and then you don't have to worry about any damages happening to your wall. And then also just like, you also have to have 75% of your wall visible just for fire hazard reasons. So like don't go over like with like tapestries and stuff like that. So just make sure you can see the wall and use command hooks and don't damage the wall. But other than that, you're free to be as creative as you want with it.
So one thing that I did with my room, just to help out with space management, if you're living in Neptune, I'm not sure about the other living communities, but you're able to go ahead and have the height of your bed raised. So I actually had my bed raised up as high as it could be, and I utilized all that space under my bed to go ahead and put a bunch of different containers. So inside of there, you guys can put any of your schoolwork, your books, any of your clothes and stuff like that, just to make the most out of your room space. Another thing, sort of kind of like what Hayden was talking about, my living learning community, we actually did a competition for who could have like the most green week. So talking like that, that's about who can conserve the most water on their building or on their hall floor go ahead and save as much electricity, and the winner got to have a pizza and an ice cream party. That was another nice little competition we have along with doing the Decorate Your Room challenges.
Thank you, guys. So Karen is asking, where are your favorite places to eat on campus? And what do you recommend for students who don't have a meal plan?
So my favorite place to eat on campus, I'd have to say is Qdoba. Their spicy queso is amazing. Not plugging them, but it's amazing. But if you don't have a meal plan, housing offers a variety of options for helping you deal with that. Like Justin mentioned, there is the public shuttle, which on every Tuesday, every 45 minutes, will take you to and from Publix. So if you have issues with transportation, you could purchase groceries during that time. You are allowed a mini fridge in your room, and each housing community has some opportunity for cooking, whether it is a community kitchen or a kitchen in every apartment or on every floor. So I just recommend, if you don't want to do the meal plan, then they have plenty options to just cook your own meals, or there's various different restaurants on the main campus to help you find a solution.
So as a
My-
freshman,
Go ahead. Okay. My favorite place to eat on campus is Gringos Locos Tacos. I love ordering the lean green burrito. Really good. Definitely recommend. And like Scott said, there's definitely so many restaurants on campus and around campus that you can eat if you don't have a meal plan. There's definitely so many places to eat, as well as there's the option of Nights Cash too. So you can put money on your UCF ID and you can pay for your food that way at certain restaurants. So that's also a good feature.
So as a freshman, I did not have a meal plan, and I was absolutely okay with that. On campus, we're going to have Chick-fil-A, Qdoba, Which, Jimmy John's, Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. Literally every type of food, there's going to be a franchise restaurant there right on campus. If you do want to go the meal plan route, you have two options with that. There's going to be swipes, and there's going to be times you can go in and eat unlimitedly if you so choose. We're going to have two buffet-style food locations, one on either side of the campus where the students that elect to do the meal plan. But like UCF, we do not have meal plans required as they are for a lot of freshmen at a lot of different universities. I personally didn't have one. Absolutely fine. It's completely up to you with how much you're going to be wanting to be eating and where you're going to be on campus at different times of the day.
Sorry. So Cole, we did mention a little bit about room assignments earlier. You must have joined us after that. So the room selection process will be happening later on in the summer. So keep an eye on your Knights email for more information to come on that. So Christopher is asking, can I bring my own car and how do I pay for parking? Does anyone want to mention a little bit about parking on campus? And if you can bring a car, do you need a car? Did you use your car? A little bit about that.
I'll go ahead and I'll start with this one. So I personally did not have a car as a freshman on campus, and I was absolutely okay with that. We're going to have a shuttle that goes clockwise around campus every 15 minutes, and also have shuttles that bring you to UCF downtown, Rosen, and also over to Lake Nona and Lake Eola if you have any of those healthing or law classes. So the nice thing about the shuttles, they're going to bring you around the outside, but the way to go ahead and get around campus, a lot of students like to walk. So the way that you walk across campus, we're going to have scooters you can rent on your phone. So I definitely didn't need a car. If you'd like to have one, you're definitely allowed to as a freshman, which is not like a lot of other universities. I believe it was $105 for a decal for the whole semester. If you're on campus, you're going to be having certain locations to park outside of your housing location. If you're going to be commuting or living off campus, you guys can park in any of the garages that we have all around campus. So completely up to you. Depends on where you're living. You definitely do not need one because UCF has everything that you need and shuttles to everywhere else.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Justin, this next question is for you. How is Disney?
Disney is awesome. Being 45 minutes away from Disney, a bunch of the clubs go there all the time. People like to go there and hang out. We have Disney Springs, great location for you guys to go ahead and go out to dinner with friends. It's just a really nice thing that we have to offer at UCF. We are not partnered with Disney in a way of Student Life, but a way that we are partnered with Student Life and theme parks is going to be called Universal Nights. Every single March, we're going to rent out Universal or Islands of Adventure. That changes every single year. And from 6 p.m. until 2 a.m. that morning, the park is just open for UCF students, absolutely free. So you don't have to worry about paying a couple $100s for you and your friends to go out on the weekend. Just wait for that one event. You get to go on all the rides. The lines are short. You get to have a bunch of fun with your friends. So definitely look forward to that if you're going to become a UCF student. Josh, come on down anytime and visit.
I know
To add to what Justin said too, we also have this really cool thing at UCF where SGA will actually purchase bulk tickets for us, and then they will go and resell that to students at a cheaper price. So let's say a Disney, an average ticket is $120. As a UCF student, you can pay about $80 for that ticket. So a really great way to get a deal. All you need is your UCF ID, and that will be on the first floor of the Student Union at the Ticket Center. They also have tons of other things too. They have Universal, SeaWorld, Disney, if you want to see the Blue Man Group, if you want to go see any cool shows or anything like that, they have that as well. And you can actually use those tickets for your family and friends. I know personally I have the annual pass at Disney, so I do not utilize that, but my family does do Disney vacations once a year, and I will buy all their tickets for them using that service, and we save easily $200 to $300 on all the tickets for the vacation utilizing that. So definitely recommend checking that out as well.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Yes, we are lucky to be here in Orlando. We have so much around us to do, from the theme parks. The beaches aren't far. There's lots of great shopping. So a lot of fun stuff to do here. So Ramon is asking, how can I do laundry? Are there washers and dryers? So do you guys want to quickly go over which communities have laundry in the facilities, if they're close by? How do you do laundry? Just a quick overview on that.
So I lived in the Nike community for my fall and spring, and so for both Nike and Hercules, there are laundry facilities. There's about 3 or 4 per community, and so they're basically these giant rooms with about like 25 to 30 different washers and dryers. So you go in there, take your laundry basket, and you put it in, and it's $1 to wash, 75 cents to dry. And there is now an app, which I didn't have when I lived there, that tells you which ones are available and when your load is done, which was super useful because I just waited. So that was horrible. But so that's really nice too, and it's never really crowded, especially just because there's multiple facilities in each community, so you don't have to worry about like not finding one. And if for some reason the one that's like close to your building is filled up, you can just walk a few more steps and there's another one right there. So that's how it works in Nike and Hercules.
In some of the other housing communities, like I lived in Towers, there's a laundry room on every floor. It has about 3 washers and 4 dryers. All of the laundry facilities work off the app now, so you can just pay through the app also. It's about $1.25 for each load per machine. It's never really crowded because now with the app, you can see when the machines are available and then rush to go put your stuff in or take them out. It even lets you set a reminder on your phone through the app, so you don't even need to remember all that stuff. Now, in Northview, the laundry rooms are included in every apartment. They don't cost anything extra in Northview to do the laundry themselves. They are complimentary. And there's also 1 washer and dryer per every apartment. Most of the other housing communities, though, do work off the same way Nike and Hercules does, where there's 1 or 2, 3 or 4 laundry rooms per the entire community, but they're really big laundry rooms.
Perfect, thank you. And then just to touch on laundry at Rosen, laundry at Rosen is located on each floor, and it is actually free at Rosen. So that's a nice benefit of living at Rosen. So Angela is asking if there's any way to find out height measurements for under the bed in Towers. So Angela, we actually have a photo album on our Facebook page. I'll see if our social media coordinator can drop that in the comments so that you can have a direct link to it. So it will have the measurements for the rooms and all of our communities. It's a really great resource right now since we're not offering in-person tours at the time, so you're not able to measure in person. So hopefully this is a helpful tool for you in the meantime. So Jolie is asking, are there printers available in towers that are for students that are not part of the honors college?
So the short answer is no. There's no printers readily available in the towers themselves, though across the street from the towers there is the all-night study, which is a great location just in general to gather with friends and study. It's a wonderful study environment to help a bunch of students gather together. They have access to whiteboards, printers, computers, all of it complimentary with your student ID. That being said, there's also color printing in the student union and the library, as well as another all-night study by Feral Commons, which is where one of the dining halls are.
Thank you. All right, so we don't have any new questions coming in the comments now, so we can give it a few minutes and see. In the meantime, we do have a little bit more time left. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. In the meantime, while we wait, if each of you want to talk a little bit about why you chose UCF, that would be great. So I'll let you all talk about that if you would like to.
I can go ahead and start with this one. Coming from the Northeast, I went on a ton of different campus and university tours, all the way up from Massachusetts, all the way down to Florida. The biggest reason I chose UCF was obviously for location. The weather's amazing. You have Disney, Universal, professional sports like the Orlando Magic and Orlando City Soccer, as well as beaches 45 minutes away. The academic reason was UCF is the biggest school in the country, and there are so many different options here. I came here as an engineering student and ended up changing my major within the first week. I felt okay by doing that because UCF has so many nationally accredited programs and majors that are top class in the entire United States for you to go ahead and choose from. So changing your major is definitely okay. The availability of majors and minors that we have to offer at UCF is amazing. And just the surrounding environment, the help from all the teachers, students, the living learning community has made UCF feel like a nice home away from home.
Okay, I'll go next. So I'm I guess, Florida native. I'm originally from Maine, but I was high school in Florida. So I actually got accepted to all the Florida State schools. And when I toured all of them, I was like, oh, I don't know about UCF. And as soon as I went on the campus, I was amazed. It was beautiful. Everyone was friendly. I just felt immediately at home there. And also, since my major is advertising and public relations, I was like, this is the place where I can get the best internships. And the program here is phenomenal as well. It's very internship based. And all of our coordinators are super hands-on, and the classes are amazing and small, so you really learn a lot. So that was the draw for me. I also just like sports, and I just felt like I knew they were going to win, and then they did. I mean, you know. So, but it's just I like the location also, just because there's so much to do. It's not just a college town. You can, like Justin was saying, that you can go to the theme parks, you can go to a sports game, and it's just like, it's not just UCF. You can experience Orlando as well. So that's what I liked about it.
I guess the reason I chose UCF can be boiled down to one word: opportunities. UCF has many, many different opportunities that are just available to everyone. For example, they have a bunch of different majors that are specific even to this college. I'm part of the forensic science major, which is very limited across the nation. Even though they do have some forensic science program, it's difficult to find a college that specializes and has a forensic science major program that allows you to get a degree in forensic science and really get down and specialize in the details of that industry. Beyond that, it's wide. It's extremely large, as we've said, in population size, and this just allows you to get exposed to many different cultures and communities, many different perspectives, and really allows you to broaden your horizons and learn many different things that maybe you wouldn't have thought you wanted to learn before coming here.
I'd say the reason I chose UCF is because I wanted the full college experience that you see in movies and TV shows. I wanted the football games. I wanted hanging out with friends on weekends. And I felt like UCF was what gave me that option to do that. So that's the main reason I chose it. And then relating back to Justin, academically, I was really unsure of my major when I came in as a freshman. So I wanted a school that offered a variety of majors. So I knew that wouldn't be restricted to majors due to the college. I could do whatever I decided I was passionate about and wanted to major in. So those are like my two big reasons why I chose UCF.
Thank you guys for sharing that. I really appreciate it. I know everyone else does as well. So a few more questions before we wrap it up. So Bethany is asking, do you recommend bringing a personal electric scooter to get around campus? Is this something that you guys, kind of what are your thoughts on this? Think it's needed or see them around campus a lot?
So it's definitely not needed, but if you'd like to have it, you definitely can. If you're thinking about purchasing one, I definitely don't recommend doing that because we have hundreds of scooters all around campus using an app on your phone called Spin. You're going to go ahead and put down $10 in using your credit card. You're able to use that all over campus whenever you would like. You can pick it up anywhere, leave it at that next location, pick it up after class, bring it absolutely anywhere, and it works on a GPS system, so it controls the speed. It's extra safe all around campus. So if you're thinking about buying one, don't. If you have one, you want to use it, you're definitely able to do that.
Perfect. Thank you. So Jolie is asking, are air fryers allowed in towers?
So with that, towers, when you're talking about if they're allowed in the kitchen, they are. When it comes to what's allowed in the actual rooms themselves, I'm going to reference back to the general rule of thumb with the appliances. Any exposed heating elements, that's a no. But with air fryers, it's in the kitchen. The towers have its own kitchen in every apartment, so it's a little bit easier to get kitchen appliances in the room themselves because technically as a whole in the apartment you can keep some appliances in the kitchen that may not really make sense in the rooms themselves.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. So, Haley, could you talk a little bit about Netflix and what that is and how you use it and all of the things about Netflix?
Yes, so it has evolved a lot since I used it as a freshman, but it is it's UCF's form of Netflix. It works on UCF Wi-Fi, so it's a fun thing for residents to use. It has lots of different movies ranging from ones that just came out of theaters or old classic ones, and we are working on getting TV shows, so that's something that we're working on. That's a surprise. But basically, yeah, it's just you log in with the UCF Wi-Fi and you can stream a bunch of different types of content on there. And it's really useful because we do not have cable anymore. So that is how you can watch Netflix or movies if you don't have a subscription service. So it comes with your room. So that's all nice and fun. So yeah, that's just one of the benefits for living on campus. You get all these movies and TV content right at your fingertips.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So Christine is asking if you can request the beds to be raised prior to move-in at Neptune. Not prior to actually checking in, but you can go ahead and request it in the community office when you arrive, or you can make that request on the UCF app. Can one of you talk briefly about the UCF app, since it kind of has come up, and some benefits of it and what all is on there?
Yeah, the UCF app is a really great tool to have on your phone. You're able to go ahead and get connected to almost every phone number that you're going to need at UCF. And on that app, you guys can keep track of any of the shuttle times, keep track of any updates that we have about campus, whether it be closures, anything to do with weather or safety, they're going to update you on there as well. We also use a thing called the UCF Alert. That's going to send you texts and emails. It's going to keep you updated about safety and anything like that around campus. So definitely have that app on your phone. There's a nice little map to help you during your first couple of weeks of getting around campus. You can also find out stuff about our dining halls on there, such as the food that they're going to be serving for that day. So definitely have that app on your phone. It's definitely very useful. To add a little bit more about raising your bed, because I had that done, depending on the day that you're moving in, depending on how busy it is, I just walked in when I was going to get my key for the first time, asked if there was any way to have it moved up, and they came up with me and did it right away. So if you want it moved almost at any time, they're able to send someone up with you either then or during that day, just depending on the time and their availability. But it's definitely easy to have done.
Perfect, thank you. And on a similar note, Melinda is asking, in towers, is there room under the bed for storage containers that are thin?
So I'll talk about this. Towers is a little bit different when it comes to the bed. Because of safety, towers is not allowed to be raised any higher than it already comes at. That being said, it's about a foot off the ground. I store some like luggage under there, and I know it can handle, it's about the height of a shoebox, maybe 1.5 shoe boxes. But yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like we don't have any other questions here, so we can go ahead and close the session now. So thank you all for your questions, and thank you to our student panel and our special guests from admissions, Allison and Justin. So we really enjoyed all of your different experiences from UCF, and we really appreciate you. So I am going to just post quickly on the screen our social media channels. Make sure you're following us at UCF Housing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for all of the most updated information. Keep in touch with us this way, and we hope you all have a great rest of your day.